This video will overview how to customize the homepage on one of your course shells. So the course homepage is essentially anything below this banner. So all of these white containers, which are called widgets, all of them can be moved around, deleted. There are ones that can be added. All of this area is fully customizable within your shell. So to begin, go up to Edit Course, and then go to Home Pages. Now from here, you currently are unable to edit the one that's active. So that check mark right there suggests that this is the active homepage template. Now, it doesn't let you edit it because then you would theoretically be editing it for the entire Grand Erie District School Board. So we don't want that, and it doesn't let you do that, so don't worry. But what we need to do is create a copy of this so that we can edit it and use that copy for this shell. So to do that, just go to the down arrow. So again, you're looking for the one that says active, which would be the intermediate senior. That's the one that is by default used across the board because we can only use one as the default. So go to the down arrow, press copy, and that will create a copy. And you'll see it when you scroll down, and all of a sudden there's one that has the blue writing, kind of lets you actually click on it. So to edit that copy, basically just click on the blue and it will bring you into the homepage editor. Now, all of this will stay the same. Really, the first place that you have choice is this layout piece. So this is the default layout that's used in every Brightspace shell, but you can change it so that there are different sizes of widgets. So a widget will actually extend across the entire page in this one, but then you still have some spots or containers below that will let you put widgets of different sizes. So you can kind of play around with what works best. I would say if you're new to this, just stay with the basic plus, the default, because it gives you lots of options. When you scroll further, this darker gray area here, this is basically your full editor, and it's pretty simple to use. So let's assume that this is a secondary class and it is one that I am not going to use the announcement widget. We do have another video that explains the difference between activity feed and announcements, and there are certainly scenarios where you can use both, but let's just assume in this case, I know I'm not going to use the announcements. I'm going to solely use the activity feed. So what I would do is I'd hover over it, and when you do, that X actually appears, and all you have to do is press the X, and that widget is now gone from my home page. If you ever need to bring it back, you can just go to Add Widgets and just find the announcement one or whatever one you deleted if you decide to bring it back. Let's also suggest that the calendar I want to use pretty often, and I want it to be a prominent piece of my home page. So I actually want it to be in this larger container area, because as you can see with these dotted lines, there are basically two areas, and the widgets are much bigger on this left side. It's about 2/3 of the page versus these widgets, which are going to be, smaller and a little less prominent on your page. So let's assume I want the calendar to be a big one. So what I would do is I'd right click on the on your mouse or on your mouse pad, hold it down, and that allows you to move it and just drag it over to this other larger container and place it where you want it. There's going to be a line that suggests where it will fall. So I'm going to put it below the activity feed, release the mouse or mouse pad, and now my calendar is in the larger area. Let's also suggest that we're going to add a widget. So to add a widget, all you would do is, as you can see, there's the larger container or the smaller, and you decide which container you're going to add it into, and you can obviously move it after the fact. So let's say I want to add the educator widget where I put my picture and things like that up. I want that to be in the smaller, because I only want it to be a small widget. I press the add widget, and what's nice is you have access to, it's actually over 100 widgets, ones that have been designed within Grand Erie and ones that have been designed by D2L. So the custom widgets, the ones that have been designed within Grand Erie system, are the D2L design ones. And you can obviously just search as well. So in this case, it is actually right at the top, but let's say I wanted to find the announcements one. All I would type in is announcements and you'd find it. But in this case, I know I wanted the educator widget, so I'd click the little box beside it, I'd press add, and you'll now see it right there. I'm going to right click and drag it because I actually want it at the top. And that is it. I'm going to press save and close. And there's one more step that's important that's often missed. Right now, the default template that you were originally using is still the one being used for your shell. You actually have to change it over to this copy. And you do that up right here in this drop-down menu where it says active homepage. Click there and go to the copy. That's the one we just edited. Press apply. And at this point, just to give you an overview, here you can see I no longer have the announcements widget. The calendar is much larger. We've added the educator widget. And you can keep playing from there. You could go back and change the sizes and play around with the overall template as many times as you'd like.